everyone, welcome to my review of Duelist Kingdom of Yugioh Do Monsters. This is the first arc in Yugioh Do Monsters, which is just known as Yugioh. Everywhere else, well, I shouldn't say everywhere else, at least in America, because we never got season 0 here, so, just Yu-Gi-Oh was open. Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters is no longer Yu-Gi-Oh! Is no longer done by Toei. It's now done by Studio Gap. So this is the first arc for Studio Gap is done. So for this review, I watched both the sub and the dub. So that's a lot of episodes. This arc is 40 episodes long, so that's 8 episodes in total. But the review itself is going to focus on the sub. The dub is more like, here's some interesting dub changes I found. And no, I'm not going to list every single dub change, because that would take forever. And this review is probably long enough without the list of all the dub changes. Because I just saw some dude do like dub changes for episode 7 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters. That's like 25 minutes video. That is my point of like, I'm not going over every dub change because it would just make this ridiculously long. And I'll be using the dub name of characters because that's what I grew up with. So if that triggers anyone, I apologize. But I'm used to Joey instead of Janochi. So yeah. I'm very, very excited to get this started. This has been a process in the making. Don't know when the heck this is going up. But yes, let's start. And first, let's talk about the voice actors and actresses for part of this. Now, some studios changed. For Japanese cast, all new. All new cast members. And since I'll be covering the English dub changes, I also want to give credit to the English dub voice cast. So, this is going to be less than a half. And I also mention if if characters' voice actors change at any point during the series. Now, because I'll probably forget if I do later on to like, but change voice actors here. So yes. There's only 9 opponent characters. To the arc of all Yu-Gi-Oh! I left one that I would do for bad to say because this list was kind of getting long enough. So it's just like, if they show up again, bad to say, I can add them to that list because that would be a much shorter list than this is. So let's start. And I'm sorry if I butcher anyone's name. I do apologize deeply. So let's start with Yukimo / Yami Yuki's played by both are played by the same voice actor in both English and Japanese. And I also will mention if the actor plays a role I'm familiar with, I will mention that role. If not, no words would be mentioned. Just go on. In Japanese, Yuki / Yami Yuki is played by Shinchiki Kazuma. And the dub for Yukis are played by Dan Green, who also plays Trudge in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, and Entei in the third Pokemon movie. Moving on. Moving on. Both are great as Yugi. Really, honestly, all of those casts is great. Like, there's no like, oh, I just like this person. No, all of them are great. Joey Lee is played by Hikuri Takahashi in Japanese, who also played Impmon/Barasabot Mom in Digimon Tamers. And the dub, Joey is played by Wayne Grayson, who plays a shit ton of Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Like, it's even funny. Like, I basically only list his Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters worlds, because if I list everything he did for Yu-Gi-Oh!, we'd be here all day. Like, legitimately. Grandpa Moto, Shy, the Paradox Bros, and Dots, all from Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters. And also, probably his most famous Yu-Gi-Oh! World, Jesse Wheeler, Joey Wheeler's cousin from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. I had to mention that. It's such a meme, I have to mention it. Now, like how in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, it goes like, alleged cousin. Because, you know, that was a dub only thing. Taya is, played by Maki Sayao in the Japanese, version. Amy Burnham plays Taya in the dub, who also plays Max, May's little brother in Pokemon. Because I'm sure there's probably more than one Max, and all of Pokemon's one. I'm sure there's another Max in this. I want to specify which Max, you know, is. And Tristan has a history of voice actors. So Tristan is played by Takuru Kodo from episodes 1 for 51 in Japanese. Who also plays Loki in High School DxD. And then is played by Hiro Kikuchi from episodes 53 to 224. In English dub, Sam Wigo plays Tristan from episodes 1 through 10, who also plays Rex Raptor from episode 2 to 134, and Chino from Naruto from episodes 23 to 24. Greg Aubrey plays Tristan from episodes 11 to 224. Who also has a few Yu-Gi-Oh! Worlds. Most famously, he plays Yusei in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Jean-Claude Magma and Yu-Gi-Oh! Do Monsters. And Damon, aka Tarzan and Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Because Hashami, because played by Yu Ino in the Duelist Kingdom arc in Japanese, and then Rika Mayashumi plays Bakura from Bad City onwards, who also plays Ash from Pokemon. Like, she is the voice of Ash for all of Pokemon. That's awesome. In the dub, Yami Bakura is played by Tad Lewis, who also did a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Voices. To name a few, I think I actually did name, did name all of them. Ben Keith and Aster from Do Monsters, Jack Atlas from 5Ds, Chumley, from, episodes 1 through 15, GX, and X from GX as well. That one-off duelist, from season 2. Sayakawa is played by Kenjui Tasuda, in Japanese, who also played Overhaul in My Hero Academia, and played, Yusuke Ozuki from, Boruto. And the dub, Eric Stu plays Sayakawa. Now again, like I said, all these voice actors and actresses did a wonderful job in the roles. Don't I take away from that. But Eric Stewart as Sadaka, but if you look up the definition of perfect casting, I've said this plenty on my streams, I think Eric Stewart fits the definition of that. Like, without a doubt, like, Eric Stewart is amazing as Sadaka, like, amazing. Like, he also did a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh characters, like, Gansley and Doom Monsters Bastion, Paradox Bros and Titan and GX, and Ellsworth from 5Ds. Mokuba is played by Junko Takeuchi in Japanese, who also played Naruto from Naruto series. Gammon and Takura/Agumon, Kurimon, my bad, not Agumon. Kurimon from Digimon. So yeah, three major worlds from two of my favorite series of all time. That's amazing. In the dub, Mokuba is played by Taylor Sands from episodes 1 to 184, also in the Pyramid Light movie, and also in Dark Sides of Dimension. Who also plays Witchy in Pokemon. Karen Kurno plays Mokuba from episodes 185 to 224, who also have few worlds. And Yugioh, like Krisan from DM, and Missy and Mina from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Yes, Mize also has a few voice changes. Not on the Japanese side, but on the English side, there's a few. My event, time is played by Hiro Nara in Japanese, who played Renamon, from, Digimon, and Ren and Shai Tsunune from Naruto. And English, mine is played by Megan Hollingshed from episodes 3 to 144, who also played, Shinzu from the Naruto series, and No Story from Pokemon. Erika Shoryu plays Mai from 145 to 224, who also plays a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh characters, like Dogma Digigo / Mana from all of her appearances. Camera and Miss Florentine from GX. Aki managed to get an Aki mention in 2 out of 3 Yu-Gi-Oh reviews I've done. That's a impressive record if I do say so myself. And Rally from 5Ds, and Kathleen from Zexum. Mine's also played by Kathleen Delaney and the uncut DVDs of a dub. For those who don't know, 4K's released uncut versions of the dub. I think only up to like episode 14, if I remember correctly. Clearly they didn't take off because, there's not more of them. Who also played Tana from GX and Rogue of a Bat from Sonic from 2003 to 2009. Okay, almost done. We have two more. Serenity Wheel is played by Mika Shigenomi in Japanese. The dub, Lindsay also plays Serenity, who also play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh characters like Linda, Mindy, and Blair from GX, Barbara from 5Ds, and Lois from Zexum. And lastly, and definitely not least, is Pegasus, who's played by Drew Takasari J in Japanese, and the dub, Pegasus played by Darren Destin, who played a few Yu-Gi-Ohs, like Obvious for Ford from GX, Andre from 5Ds, and Mr. K in Zexum. That was a lot of voice actors we just went through, what we've done, and all that stuff. I do feel like it is important to give credit to them, and maybe try and relate oh, this person also did this. That's cool, type stuff. The Duelist Kingdom arc is about Yugioh trying to get back his grandpa's soul from Texas. I know it's a bit more to that, but it's different between sub and dub. But we get to kind of changes in a bit. Let's start off with episode 1. Which begins with a quick explanation like, oh, Egypt, ancient Egypt, advanced the games, all like at the beginning of the games, like all the games start in Egypt. It talked about how Yugi saw from a prison that caused him to have 2 hearts in his body, one light and one dark. Then it cuts to Joey doing Yugi with the classmates watching, including Tristan, Taya, and a non-talkative Bakura. You do see Bakura, and you see the back of his head. And they actually explain how to play this game. Because I feel like slowly, with Season 0, they didn't explain shit about how to play Doom Monsters, and then the movie kind of okay, here's a little more explanation, and then, they explain more of how to play this game, here. Yugi mentions how his grandpa owns a card shop, and he has a super special, awesome secret card, and, Kaba, overhears this, he's, sitting in the back of the class reading a book. So Yugi takes his friends to his grandpa's card shop, and Grandpa shows them his card, which is the legendary Blue Eyes White Dragon. Joey talks about buying some packs after seeing Blue Eyes, which I love every freaking time, they actually make Doom Monsters feel like a card game. Savor those moments. Because there's not many. After, season 2 of GX, that's when it stops. And Kaba comes into the card shop, sees the Blue Eyes. He tries to buy the Blue Eyes, but Grandpa's like, no, this card means more to me than anything you can give me, because, my friend gave this to me. And it mentions how, Kaiba's goons got the other 3 Blue Eyes, and then, sent those goons after Grandpa, and Grandpa's like, I teach this boy the, hover cards. And then Yugi gets a phone call, Kaiba's like, your grandpa's here. He's not doing so well, so, Yugi and his friends rush over to Kaiba Corp's headquarters, and coming to find Grandpa on the ground, and Kaiba has the 4 Blue Eyes in his hands. He's like, we played for this, and he whips it because he goes like, you're only allowed to have 3 Blue Eyes, 3 copies of the card in your deck. I don't need someone else to have the 4th Blue Eyes, which in hindsight, really, it's a misstep on Pegasus' part. We get to who Pegasus is in a second. He made the card game. I'm just saying, to only have 4 copies, and you only can have 3 in a deck. I'm just saying, a bit of an oversight on Pegasus' part. But anyways, not the point. And I do love the having mentioned you only can have 3 copies of a card in your deck. Grandpa gives Yugi his deck, to do Kaiba with. Taya draws a smiley face on their hands, part of the smiley face on Yugi's, part of the smiley face is on Joey, etc., etc., on all 4 of the friends' hands, and be like, this is a friendship symbol, a smiley face. Hey, you gotta keep it original, I guess. Never sends friendship like a smiley face. Tristan and Tara takes Grandpa to the hospital, and Joey shows his support for Yugi. Basically, this plays out exactly how Yuki's duel with Kaiba happened in Def T, the Def T arc in Season 0. Including Yugioh being all 3 blue eyes at the very end of this duel. Yuki mind crushes Kaiba. I like having make him less like evil after the mind crush, like legitimately all the evil in his heart disposed. And the episode ends with Pegasus being told that Kaiba lost to Yugi. I love this episode. This is a great first episode. Because they combine like all of Kaiba's appearances really in Season 0. Like episode 3 and then the Def T arc matched into one episode perfectly without it feeling like, oh, we're missing information. No, you don't feel that at all. You feel like, there's very much like the prologue of, Duelist Kingdom arc, but like it doesn't feel like we're missing something. Very well done, and very great start to this arc. The dub changes I do think the dub makes Joey, Tristan, Tara, and Yuki feel more like closer friends, but would do anything for each other. Because, because they give each other way more shit in the dub, and, to me, that makes them feel closer. Like, teasing, not like treating each other like shit, but like playful teasing. I'm not really a fan of how a dub cards look, when it's just a picture, attribute, level, and tag a D, and missing for text. But, what you gonna do? And I do think Zoya appropriate such a memorable scene, and it's awesome. Episode 2 begins with Tara being Joey at the Gale do monsters. Like Habakura is just watching, still not speaking. He still doesn't have a line yet, but he's in the background watching. So Yuki's like, Joey, let's see that deck. Let's see what you're playing with. And so Yuki looks for Joey's deck, and Yuki's like, this is fucking terrible, my dude. You have no spells, no traps, it's just monsters, man. You need combine spells and traps with your monsters. So Joey asks Grandpa to train him in the way of do monsters. And he sees Grandpa pulling up a poster for a tournament. Joey's like, I want to enter that tournament. It has prize money. And the tournament starts in, I think, about like 2 weeks. And Grandpa's like, was able to get for Joey one of the prize money, but he agrees to train Joey. So we cut to see Rex and Weevil being the finalists of a tournament that Joey entered. Joey made to the quarterfinals of the state qualifiers. So aka state qualifiers could be like huge, let's be honest. That's very good for any placement. First time especially. Yuki got medium. And also Yuki states that he only entered tournament if Kaiba's in it. Weevil won his duel against Rex, and then Maximilian Pegasus comes out of the ground. The creator of Doom Monsters and the CEO of Industrial Illusions, which are invented Doom Monsters, invited Weevil to his tournament at Duelist Kingdom. Yugi opens his package to find a tape, glove, and two stars. Yuki plays the tape to find Pegasus is on the tape, and he's actually talking to Yuki like it's now recording. Like, you say something, and then, Pegasus says something back, it's an actual conversation happening. Pegasus challenges Yuki to a challenge game with a 15-minute time limit. I love how they set this up. This up. And actually, I really like everything in this episode so far. I like how they Joey entered a tournament before Duelist Kingdom. And that he didn't get far, but he still did good. And then with the whole doing through TV, I like how some attacks come through and out of TV. It's very creative, I think. Pegasus shows off the power of his Millennium Eye, but Yami Yugi doesn't figure out how it works exactly. He has the theory. It's he's hypnotizing me to make me play certain cards. If it's not a full understanding of the eye yet. Yami Yugi could have won. Because what happened was one of his monster cards got Dragon Capture Jar, and then Dragon Piper was summoned on Pegasus' side to bring the dragon out of the Capture Jar, and if Yugi would have attacked that Piper, he would have won, but he didn't want to leave his monster under control of Pegasus, so he didn't attack Piper. It happens. Summon Skull almost won the game for Yuki, but time went out. Literally, 2 more seconds, Yuki would have won, and everyone would have been happy. Pegasus takes Grandpa's soul, and Yugi has to find Duelist Kingdom to get his Grandpa's soul back. I think this is a very good setup episode for arc to come. It shows off some of the characters you was seeing Duelist Kingdom. And shows Pegasus powers and all that stuff. Very good episode. Dub changes. So this is probably, honestly, people talk, Shadow Realm is, the biggest dub change. But, I would argue, because this does shape how Season 1 has played out a bit differently than the sub version, is that the beginning of this episode, named whale person talks about the failure of the Millennium Items way before the sub does. It goes into power to destroy the world, all that stuff. Which by doing so, I would point out a lot of examples of this throughout the review, but the dub leans into the mystical side a lot more than the sub does, and I talk about why I think and when we get them, because we had to get to a certain episode, because I did think about why would we do this, but I think I came up with a possible explanation, but we get there when we get there. The poster the Grandpa puts up is different in the sub version, which the sub version was the ad for the tournament. And the dub is a reference to Yugi versus Mai, way later down. So Joey doesn't enter a tournament in the dub. Duelist Kingdom would be his first tournament. And then, if it Pegasus does talk about wanting the lion arms and the dub only. And then he goes on to talk about the Pharaoh, do monsters in Egypt and all that, which never happened in the sub. And when he talks about the Shadow games, the Yami games, like those, that show a bit of Pegasus versus, actually the end of Pegasus versus Yuki. The end, as we go, the Shadow gains power to destroy the world and all that jazz. I'm kind of skimming over it because, again, this is more of a review of a sub version than a dub. So, like, when we talk about more of it, that's when I'll, in the sub, that's when I'll go more into detail about it. But for now, it's just, there you go. And yes, you might notice different t-shirts throughout this review. I'm recording this at, different days, so if, I was like, for us, it's in a different t-shirt. That's why. Episode 3 starts off with Yugioh on the school rooftop, thing about what happened last episode, the whole kidnapping thing of souls, it happens, Joey got a videotape from his sister Serenity about how she's about to lose her vision. Yugi has the entry cards for Duelist Kingdom, which one way shown off last episode. It might have been underneath for packaging. See, we get a flashback about how Yugi and Joey met, aka the first episode of season 0. With Bully Trudge, being Joey and Tristan because, he goes like, these guys were bullying you, Yugi, pay up money for my services, and Yugi's like, I never wanted this. Then Yugi got beat up. And then, about how Joey threw a piece of puzzle in the river, and Joey got that piece back, and all that good stuff. Yugi's friends are sad but weren't able to go with him. So Joey just tries to get on the boat. He just walks on and says, I'm Joey Wheel, let me on the boat. It didn't work out so well, so Yugi's like, hey, he's with me. Here's a starship, Joey, So we are at disadvantage, we'll each have one starship, but you're able to enter Duelist Kingdom. Taya and Tristan had a better idea and hide in a crate to get on the boat. Big brain. We meet Mai, who Joey is head over heels for. He's head over heels. Taya is upset. But you know she gets jealous at the beginning with how Joey and mostly Joey. There's some Tristan fawns over Mai a bit. Yuki really doesn't. But Taya gets jealous. And then Yugi and Joey meet Rex and Revo. Revo knows about some new rules for the tournament, but doesn't spill the details. After claiming that she has to pee, because using the bathroom is very important. Don't hold in. That's how you mess yourself up. But then again, she can't get spotted. So a little bit of a dilemma though. But don't kill your bladder, Taya. Do what you have to do. But after she sees after she claims that, she sees Bako on the boat and acts like we should know who the fuck that is. They never said Bako's name before. We only seen the back of his head so far. But there's one thing I would give this show flack for. 100%. One of the things this arc I would give flack for. They act like we should know who the hell Bako is. But we don't. We don't know who that is. Because we haven't met him. He's like, oh, that's Bakoa. It's like, who? Who's Bakoa? I don't know Bakoa. So Joey made some trades on the boat, and Yugi gave him the Time Wizard call, and Rex advised Mai to his private room. She beats Rex in a duel, so she kicks him out of the room. That was the agreement, and if Mai lost, she would do anything for Rex. If Weaver shows up to where Yugi and Joey is, and is like, hey Yugi, can I see Exodia? And Yugi's like, yeah, you can see Exodia. And Weaver did the ultimate, haha, through them, and we also couldn't see Mom, off of a boat. And Joey tries to save, Exodia, but he only could have gotten 2 pieces of Exodia. Yugi dies after him, but at the end, Taya and Tristan save them both. Joey explains that he needs some money to pay for his sister's operation. Unlike this episode overall, you get an idea of some more of these characters' personalities, like Rex and Weaver, the introduction of Mai. Again, I really don't like that, but I kind of expect you to know who Bakoa is. It's like, again, who is this Bakoa? We haven't met him before. Moving on to dub changes. We talk a lot more about the puzzle in the dub and the sub. Like, a lot more. Joey wants to be crushed by Mai in the dub, I'm just saying, that votes for his words. Weaver is just made out to be like the worst person on earth in the dub. Like, he cheats, he kicks puppies, he takes candy from babies, all that sort of stuff. Taya's code in the dub, instead of, having to go relieve herself. But don't worry, Taya, in a few hours the sun will rise, The dub changes that Mai would say she would do anything for X, and to a kiss. Gets the same point across, overall. So, episode 4 starts off with our heroes arriving at Duelist Kingdom. Taya sees Bakoa, which again, who? Who? No one else sees him. Pex explains the rules about how you start with 2,000 life points, and the direct attacks, and that you'd be using Doom Monsters cards. Specifically, we don't want any of that magic shit in our Duelist Kingdom tournament. Just Doom Monsters. And if I see someone summon a Pikachu, I break their fucking kneecaps, okay? You bet starships and duels. Once you get 10, you'll be able to get into Pex's castle. There's about 30 contestants, a 2-day limit to give you starships. Yugi chases Weaver down to a duel. Weaver, after he gets what he wants, Yugi accepts and bets 2 starships, while Yugi bets his 1 starship and his grandpa's deck. People ask, who's that doing Weaver? Joey's like, that's my pal Yug, and I'm his best friend, Joey Wheeler, and these 2, the sidekicks. Pexis only told Weaver about the field power source bonus that causes a 30% increase to attack and defense depending on what type of field and what type of monster you have. Like, basically, the basic field spells like Wasteland, Mountains, etc., etc. Those cards, are basically the field power bonus. and he only told Weevil this because he won for a tournament that we saw in episode 2. Monsters power up with magic cards can be monsters power up with field power bonus, which I feel like this is following episode that's a factor. Yuki uses Mirafos against Weevil's army of bugs. It's an awesome moment. For sure. I like this episode. It's a very fun episode as we learn more about Duelist Kingdom, have rules on, and get a feel of more of how the game is played. A bit. It's Duelist Kingdom. They change rules all the time and contradict what they said in previous episodes. It happens, but it is for this arc. Dub changes. Pegasus doesn't really explain the rules at all. He just says, "Welcome to Duelist Kingdom, Duelist." And that's kind of it. We will still have new rules instead of Pegasus telling him. Right now you're making him like a fucking Tom Cruise Mission Impossible character. He goes nee 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 nee. I don't know what BO is going for, but anyways. And the gag with Joey called Tara and Tristan sidekicks. He goes up there is my pad is Yug. And I'm his best friend Joey, and these two are just trespassers. I think the gag works better in the dub, because Joey completely and utterly just threw Tara and Tristan onto the bus. These trespassers, you know what I'm saying? In the dub, Yuki said some Mirafos about Weevil nosing to make him look more of an asshole, I suppose. But episode 5 starts off with Mai showing up and Tara being mad at Joey and Tristan for being my simps. Weevil plays the cocoon of evolution, and apparently no one has been this slow combo before. Okay, sure, no one has a monster with 2,000 more attack, or, any spells or traps, it's fine. Mai sprang her anti-friendship, language, so Taya calls her a hussy. I don't know. I just feel like when I hear the word hussy, I think of a scene where Chi-Chi first met Videl in Dragon Ball Z, and that gets me a good laugh. It's that show. So it's oh, you're a hussy. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Tara. You're right. Friendship. My bad. Yuki summons Curse of Dragon and comboed with burning land to destroy the field with a cocoon with field power bonus. The guy can destroy the cocoon of evolution, but the cocoon failed to transform to the ultimate great moth, which is name dropped in the sub version but not the dub version. But enough turns has passed for it to transform into the great moth. But we were flying monsters can only be attacked by other flying monsters here. We got a first fusion monster, Gaia, the Dragon Champion. The Dragon Champion is being posted by the Great Moth. Yugi was able to figure this out because when he was chasing Weevil in the previous episode, moths were flying around, and he put two together. Though. But Yamayuki plays Maku to make it rain to get everything wet. And summon Skull, he uses an electrical attack, and when you're wet, it's electric. Wiki. Was able to destroy the Great Moth. Aoi, winning Yu-Gi-Oh! The game, Joey still we would do glow because he doesn't need anymore. He's getting kicked out. I like this episode a lot. I think it's a good first do of a tournament. Get that put his full Zoe off of both do out of the way, and again, great first start to the tournament because it shows Yugi's skills, being able to be a winner of a tournament. And the action is fun as you see Yugi. It's like, okay, this is how I, figure what Reaver is doing and all that stuff. Very fun to watch. Dub changes. Some cards have an art update to the TCG art, which that does happen sometimes when in the dub they just update the art to be like the art in the actual card game. But one art change I do not understand. Polymerization. They changed it. And polymerization of a sub is how it is in the TCG and OCG. So they changed it to a different artwork just because, I guess. They keep saying that this Yugi's the first feature doing the dub, and we get choose never win less than never end. Yeah, it's because you cheat, you lost. Yeah. I mean, you know how it can be, I guess. Episode 6 starts off with us being 2 hours into the tournament. Joey remembers the time he took Serenity to the beach when they were kids. Tristan and Tara think Joey should find a weak duelist to start off with. My challenge is Joey after she defeat Yellow Bee Boy, Teacher Boy. Tristan and Tara are like, Joey, you can't win this. You knew. She's experienced. You can't win. But Yugi has faith in Joey. Mai's able to pick her cards without looking at them, which gets in Joey's head. This is Hoppy's first appearance. And flying monsters rule applies here too. And this is the last do you ever hear that phrase. Joey learned that rule twice in this duel, because he tries to do the same thing twice. Saboteur has long pony nipples, but also boosts his Hoppy's attack. Everybody's dreams. Just nipples so poke your eye out, and and then your eye would be on like the pony nipple, and then that's not fun. Then you have to call cops. No way for cops, it gets 911. If you get an ambulance, and then you'd be explaining to the doctor what happened. I don't know what happened. She was cosplaying as Hoppy with Cyber Shield. She literally poked my eye out of my socket. Weirdest thing. Mine says friendship sucks. Yamayuki gives Joey a will what can be seen but remains unseen. The answer is friendship. While Joey closed his eyes and was able to figure out how Mai was picking her cards without seeing them, is because she sprayed different perfumes on them, so they smelled differently. Joey summons the baby dragon. So Mai plays Hoppy sisters, and when she multiplies her Hoppy, she can attack that turn. So Joey uses the time wizard to make baby dragon into a thousand dragon, and the Hoppy into old ladies, which made them lose all the attack bonuses and winning Joey the duel. This is a fun duel to watch. like Joey's still like trying to figure out how this complicated, which is failed, complicated game of Doom monsters work, especially with rules changing every 5 seconds. But I think it's a very fun dude to watch. Dub changes. The dub has this obsession of making Joey the biggest noob that they possibly can make him. Without a doubt, they try to make him the biggest noob. In the sub version, like Joey lists out the monsters types that get field power bonuses with the field that he and I are playing on. But in the dub, not so much. He just lists things. And it's like, okay, that's not official tomes, but okay. The dub hints that Yugi's a pharaoh where the sub doesn't. There's a lot more hints that Yugi is a pharaoh in the dub than there's the sub. Episode 7 starts off with Joey being happy. He's like, haha, I got 2 starships. No one has food, and Taylor asks why food isn't provided, which is a good fucking point. This is a 2-day tournament, and you don't have, kind of get your food, Duelist, and have it, be this cool, Rick's reward kind of thing, where it's like, you get food, but you get to run into a bunch of fucking duels that might challenge you to a duel type shit, Joey smells the smell of food, and we see his cooked fish. Joey says it's God. We gotta put fish here, for us to eat, to justify him taking the food. So they're about to dig into the food, and Mako shows up and is mad about the steering his fish, rightfully so. And then Yugi name drops himself. He goes like, "Oh, you're Mako. I'm Yugi." And Mako's like, "Oh, you're Yugi. Oh, you steal all the fish you want. Forget about it." Mako challenges Yugi to a duel after almost killing him with a harpoon. I mean, there's multiple ways of making him stop, but he chose to throw a harpoon. So, I like this duel. I like the monsters high underwater and you can't tell what they're all. And I feel like later on, the Panic Duel is a world's version of this duel, honestly. But we get to that. Yugi tries the same strategy with Summon Skull and Wall. I mean, actually, no, it wasn't Summon Skull. I take that back. Electric Attack and, Wall. By using Pharaoh Imp and Horn of the Unicorn, but Mako uses Jellyfish to absorb the electrical attack, showing, the same strategies aren't gonna always work. I like that they showed that very early on. Yugi equipped Mystic Moon to Silver Fangs. Silver Fangs destroyed, but for some reason the equip spell is still on the field. But Yugi summons Giant Searcher of Stone in defense mode. After Ryoshin raised the wall level, so it's 99.9% wall. When attacking Silver Fang, so and then Mako thinks Yugi played Giant Searcher of Stone to increase the land mass of doing field, because not there's no such not so much land anymore. So he gets his monsters to surround Giant Searcher of Stone, and then that's when we get Attack the Moon, Minions destroy, Raj rises up, and Yugi wins via Quotes of Dragon. This dude is a very fun dude. You see, Yugi. I like that it's short. This is why this duel works. It's one episode, duel. And you see Yugi struggling, and then he's like, "Oh, I have a plan. So it's short, simple. If this looks like a two-part duel, this would not work as well as we get to a certain duel later on with the Panic versus Yami Yugi duel. We get to see the Shin! The famous Joey Shin! So, that's all. If all makes this episode 10 out of 10 automatically. Dub changes. Miko's called Freaky Fish Guy multiple times to his face. Don't even try to hide. It's like, we think you're a freaky fish guy, motherfucker. And then replace Mystical Moon's art with a picture of an actual moon. Why? I don't know. Because they already have its TCG art / OCG art. And the sub, so it's just like, the moon! I don't know. And the dub, Mako wants to look for his father, and the sub, he wants to be a great fisherman like his father. So, a bit of different tone with this duel. Overall. So 8 starts with Mokuba breaking out of Pex's castle. But I didn't think he fought that all the way through. He made a rope out of cloth. The rope wasn't very big enough, so he fell. He fell from very high heights. We see pictures of 2 opponent characters. Paint pictures of them. We don't know who they are yet. We learned in the last episode of this arc, but foreshadow. Pegasus is reading cartoons, because the man likes his cartoons, you gotta appreciate that. And that's when Mokuba would go to Yugi, so he's not too worried. He's like, just keep an eye on Yugi. Yugi and Ko went to a kid who got starships and Dexter, and Ko's like, we help you. We will help you out. Yugi runs into the thief and figures out it's Mokuba. Mokuba has a flashback of Kaiba leaving to find the meaning of a heart of cards, man. And gives Mokuba the key to open Kaiba Cope documents. Pegasus is trying to take over Kaiba Cope. He can do it if he beats Yugi in a duel, which, technically he did away. But I think it needs to be a official duel. Not I beat him via tape duel. Because Kaiba losing to Yugi caused investors to lose trust in the company and business to go down. Because the CEO of your dang company lost to the card game. That means he can't do business anymore. Game over, man! Game over! The second thing that Pegasus needs to do is give a key to the opponent documents. So back to the present, Mokuba steals some of Yugi's starships and tries to run away. But Yami Yugi tells Mokuba to trust in his brother. He's looking for himself and don't steal. So the gang tries to return the starships to the duelists who Mokuba stole the deck and starships from, but the thug, the goon of Pegasus knocks the starships out of Mokuba's hands and into the sea, and some of the starships were Yugi, so Yugi lost some starships. The goon kidnaps Mokuba and tells Yugi to meet him after doing in an hour where he fought Mokuba. an hour later, actually no, before that, we cut to Kaiba making proposed duel decks, and then Hargoons come to try, take Kaiba with guns, and Kaiba's like, well, there's two ways this can go, and I take option 2 and jumps out the window. And Kaiba's supposedly dead. So back to Duelist Kingdom. Yugi's opponent is Kaiba. And that's how the episode ends. I do like this episode because it gives, more into Pegasus' motivation, and character moments from Mokuba, which we literally knew nothing about up to this point, and more light on Kaiba. Dub changes. Tristan saying that he's on the big guy but off the big guy is funny out of context. And no, I will not be giving context for that. Actually, no, I will. He was fighting, Vagoon, who was throwing the duelist off, who lost his starships in deck. He goes like, I'm on the big guy! And then, Vagoon throws him off. He's like, I'm off the big guy! More hands toast for Yami being a pharaoh. Yami Yuki uses his powers to figure out who Mokuba is. Well, Yami Yuki used his brain and figure out who it was. And so this why the big arguably the biggest change is that there's no point documents in the dub. That's gone. They need some Kaiba code bylaws and, a Kaiba L needs to be in charge of Kaiba code. So that's why Mokuba is being kidnapped. And so this brings to my point of, I think this is kind of why I'm really into more of the magic side of, in the dub. Because I think those guys are focused, like, what cares about opponent documents and business takeovers? So we can make Pegasus also once for Limited items, right? Because magic! Kids like magic! So I think that's why they did, honestly. Because I think kids would be gravitate motos, and also more finger guns. Bam bam. Episode 9 starts off with Kaiba turning out to be Kaiba's ghost, who died hanging Yugi. One of Pegasus' goons sets this up. Ghost Kaiba has Kaiba's deck. For real Kaiba sneaked into his house. They really didn't keep up the Ghost Kaiba thing for long, or keeping the audience to talk about. But like, yeah, no, Kaiba's alive, motherfuckers. Yeah, that's an imposter. They really, really didn't keep that up for long. Into his house, secrets patches way to find, Kaiba sneak into his house, his secret passageway. Kaiba finds out for plot. He gets a recap via his computer. Ghost Kaiba summons Blue Eyes Red Dragon. Pegasus made Yugi's due date a top secret. So Kaiba has to hack in to see it. Stop defenses and continues trap. Wow, Magical Hats is a spell card. The episode ends with Dark Magician hiding in Magical Hats. Really? I think the stuff with like for doing stuff is kind of lackluster the first part, but what really keeps this episode afloat is the Kaiba stuff, like, you know, real Kaiba being alive and doing his thing with the hacking and trying to, you know, figure out what's going on. And it's also fun to see, like, you know, Exilia's gone. Yugi doesn't have Exilia. Like, that's in the war. So it's fun to see Yugi's like, okay, how do I be a Blue Eyes without obliviate? You know, in it. In the dub, Pegasus is bragging about the power of items, which we get more into next episode why he is doing such a thing. The dub just plays the song "I'm Back" in the middle of the episode to sell those music to Dubai CDs. You know, it's like, you remember that part in episode 9 when the song kicked. And you remember that, kids? He has 20 copies of music to Dubai. Don't worry, it's not more than you need, but you want 20. We know it. We know it. Kaiba crashed a satellite into a building during his hacking. The dub. I don't know, like, why they changed it to make Kaiba crash a satellite into a building, but, you know, that's one way to destroy, you know, hack. But yes, the last 3 statements are dub changes. In fact, I can't remember if I said dub changes before I went on, but everything, including Pegasus bragging above power from items download are dub changes. Okay, so episode 10 starts with Yugi being Blue Eyes with Dog Magician Magical Hats and Spell Binding Soko. That is one of Yugi's go-to combos in Duelist Kingdom. High Spell Binding Soko and, you know, a Magical Hat where Dog Magician hides. Then Boom Bind being Dog Magician attacks. Ghost Kaiba just summons another Blue Eyes. He just whips it out, literally top deck it. Destroys Dog Magician. Kaiba hacks the second Blue Eyes to make it weak. Weaker and goopier. So that's how Yugioh was able to beat second Blue Eyes, because it's goop. Not made by Grand Pressure. Unrelated goop. Pegasus counter-hacks Kaiba. So Kaiba's unable to help Yugi anymore, so he has to leave his house because goons are, you know, finds the secret password. Ghost Kaiba is revealed to be the impersonator of death. He's just a normal human being who is a master of disguise. Like, he even pretends to be Pegasus there for a second. And it's the first hired assassin to take down Yugi. The impersonator summons for Blue Eyes White Dragon. And who knew you can negate attack and mirror foes? Who knew? Yugi wins for a Monster Reborn to bring back Blue Eyes, and it gains attack thanks to Mystical Elf, who's been chanting. And that allows her to transfer her attack power to Blue Eyes. I like this Doom, because again, it goes to how there's different outs to things. Like, there's this, one BR solution to everything. You see Yugi using different strategies to take down each Blue Eyes. The second one where it doesn't count since, you know, Kaiba hacked into the, like, you know, doing system to make it weaker. But like the first and third one, yeah, you see Yugi thinking, okay, how do we take down these Blue Eyes? Um, and then dub changes for Postnatal is Kaiba's evil side from the Shadow Realm, like Pegasus brought back. From like episode 1, Yugi mind crashed Kaiba. Whoever got mind crushed in the dub versus Kaiba's goes. Which makes no sense in terms of if it was really Kaiba's ghost, why doesn't he, or like aside of Kaiba, why the fuck does he need to change? Why does he need to change appearance into his real face? I always thought that was weird as a kid, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of a major thing of this episode. We didn't want to know about dub change. Episode 11 starts off with the gang looking for Mokuba, but as soon as they start looking for them, he's like, he's probably Texas cat, so don't worry about it. It's fine. Joey found some train cards on the ground. They belong to Tristan. One of them is a lava bargon. And Joey, coincidentally, we've never seen this before, has a swamp bargon. And they discuss, these cards have synergy together. And Joey talked Tristan into giving him lava bargon. Rex finds Mai and is like, I want to do you, Mai. But Mai says he has to beat Joey Wheeler first. Joey's getting upset with Taya and Tristan, like, do weak opponents, man. You can't be good duelists. You suck. And then Mai shows up, and Joey says he wants to be my servant, and maybe agreeing to the duel against Rex. But mostly he wants to be my servant. Mai says Yugi isn't allowed to give any hints to Joey during his doom. And Joey agrees because he wants to prove he's good enough on his own. Don't need help from anyone to win. And then Tristan's like, Joey, come on, man. I know you have your pride and stuff, but think this out a bit, man. You're not good enough for Rex. And then Joey punches him like, hoo-too. And we had to do accurate sound effects to have it on the show, in the dub, I should say. It's for the kids. Joey's like, I got this. And Tristan gets mad because he gets punched and walks away. And then, as they're getting ready to do, Joey asks, hey, so what did Mai promise you, if you win? And Rex, is not telling, Joey, and Joey's upset, because, he wants to know what favors Mai is giving out. So, Joey's happy that he got a time wizard baby dragon off the bat. He sets baby dragon's destroyed, it's gone. Actually, no, he summons it in defense mode. And Rex is like, haha, you should have set instead of just summoning it in defense mode. Yugi finds Tristan and gives him the friendship speech. The friend Swordsman is a normal monster and it's a fusion monster of a TCG/OCG. And guess what killed the dinosaurs? It's fire attribute monsters. Apparently weak to fire. It made more sense if it was like monsters that use ice attacks, but whatever, we're going with this. Rex summons Silver Night Dragon, which is a tournament prize card, which I love that detail, that one line, because again, it makes Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters actually feel like a card game, which I love when they do that in the show, because again, once we get to a certain point, we don't have these moments, so, cherish them. And then Joey gets a flashback of Tristan helping him out in a fight. And we learn that it's okay to get help from others. That's the lesson. And then draws Lava Baragon. The episode ends with Storm Baragon and Lava Baragon boosting each other. This episode is good. But doing action is fun. You still see Joey making rookie mistakes, but you still see him finding his footing and all that stuff. I feel like the conflict with Joey and Tristan is just but overall I do think it's a good episode. Dub changes. Tristan voice actors officially changed this episode, as I discussed it before. It's actor portion of this video. Everyone, literally everyone, basically calls Joey a doing monkey this episode. They really want to hammer home, but Joey Wheeler is a novice in the dub, and by calling him a doing monkey, either the predicted for future of Wheel of a Monkey in GX, or the dub named Wheelo to reference the fact that people called Joey a doing monkey in the dub. Either way. This is the biggest pet peeve I think I ever have. So the dub changed the Flame Summon into a fusion monster, which is correct. It reflects the card game. But doesn't reflect the anime, goddammit. And when you just see, I summon the Flying Swordsman instead of fusion monster, it's like, Joey, I want you to take a look at, I want you to take a look at this. Let's see. This section particularly right here. You might learn something. I'm just saying. It literally bugs the shit out of me. Again, I know the dub is technically correct, but seeing just a normal monster, normal summon, a fusion monster normal summon bugs me so badly. But anyways, episode 12. Starts up with Rex in a Kono because of Bad Gods, but he drives the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and he summons it, and Yuki says Red Eyes is supposed to rival the power of Blue Eyes. Oh, Yuki, you're funny. And apparently Rex used all his life savings for this trading card. All the money for one card. Yeah, that's not a reflection of real Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know what it is. Rex suggests that the winner gets the least best card. Rex would get Time Wizard and Joey would get Red Eyes. And thanks to Rex, Joey, I have Time Wizard on the field. And you know what he does? Time roulette, go! It's all time magic. Whereas turns into Fossil, Joey wins. He gets basically Rex's life savings. Per life decisions on Rex's part, Joey and Tristan, made up. And then, it's nighttime. The gang is hungry, and then Mai comes along with food. We learn that Mai used to be a car dealer on a casino cruise ship. And became sick of people and the gambling and whatever. She just became sick of them, disgusted. At one point, Teo was taking a shower, and Tristan and Joey were trying to see her naked. Friendship. Anyways, Leon gets grabbed from behind by a mysterious figure. And Bakoa shows up, everyone's favorite character, Bakoa, who we know nothing about at this point besides he goes to school. I don't like how they handle Bakoa up to this point because I feel like they act like you should know who this character is. It's just like, who are you? And everyone goes around saying their favorite card. All of this is a reference to the RPG arc in Season 0. With Joey's favorite card being the Friend Swordsman, Tristan's the Cyber Commando, Teo's the Magician of Fate, Yuki's the Dark Magician, and Bakoa's the Change of Heart. Which I love that little detail, that little nugget of reference. Because all of the favorite cards represent class of character each character will in the RPG arc in the Season 0. Like Joey was Warrior, for example. It's, again, a nice little nod and respect to that. Bakoa turns Yuki to a duel. Everyone besides Bakoa, of course, puts the fifth card in Yuki's deck. Then, boom, by bing, Yami Bakoa shows up. And puts everyone's soul in the deck, into the favorite cards. And then Yami Bakoa is trying to steal the Millennium Puzzle. And then Yami Yuki's like, no, we can have a card game over this. I like this episode because it's a nice transition between an end of a duel, some character development, and then, we're about to go into another duel. Very much, you get dueling action, character moments, and, set up for the next episode. Very, very nice. For the dub changes, I basically have some lines I thought were funny, mostly. When Mai, showing off the food she has, Yugi says, look at all this stuff, candy bars. Joey says, dibs on the candy bars. Yugi says, potato chips. Tristan says, dip on the potato chips. Yugi says, canned fruit. Then Yugi says, sir, dibs on the, sir, says Joey. Now, funny back and forth. Yugi says, I don't think you should be cooking the candy bars. Joey says, back off, I know what I'm doing. I actually really love the delivery of back off, I know what I'm doing. It's such, sick of this shit. At this point, it's like, I know what I'm doing, man. I've cooked many candy bars in my days. That's how I've survived. I've wrote a book about it, goddammit. How to cook candy bars. The dub also cut out Mai's backstory about being a casino dealer on a boat. Episode 13 starts off with Yamabiko talking about how if you collect all 7 Millennium Items, you can make a witch of a dragon. I mean move a world. I'm gonna think a lot of these animes, it's if you collect 7 of whatever the McGovern of a show is, you get stuff like that. I'm just saying. Cyber Commander Tristan is summoned, and Cyber Commander Tristan dies as soon as he was summoned. And he goes to the graveyard. And if a Reaper of Cards gets to Tristan, while he's in the graveyard, his soul would be lost forever. and Yugi uses Monster Reborn to bring back Tristan. So Tristan's alive, well, still stop Commando. Basically, at this point, Yugi summons the gang one by one. Next is Joey the Flying Swordsman. Second is, next is, Dark Magician Yugi. Which Yugi reveals how he knows about, like, Yami Yugi being in his puzzle the whole time. And all that stuff. And then, Magician of Fate, Taya. Which is funny because Yami Yugi said so. And, like, so she's, like, summoned. And, like, the card is still on top of her, so she's, like, peeking out. And, like, Joey, Tristan, and Yugi try to hide her to no avail because, Yami Biko could see. And then, Joey destroys Man Bug, which I don't like having set up a sacrifice, because, like, no matter what, someone's gonna die, because Man Bug, for those who don't know, is when that monster is flipped, you get to destroy a card. Then Yugi was trying to use Horn of Heaven, which, for those who don't know, is to tribute a monster to negate the effect of a monster. Either way, someone was gonna die. I guess, to be fair, the only one who couldn't die is Taya. Because, her ability, Magician of Fate, recycle Monster Reborn to bring back whoever. So, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I kind of had to, Horn of Heaven. Yeah. I was mistaken. I was getting criticized for seeing, but I take back all the criticism. And then Yami uses Change of Heart, which Yami Yugi was able to swap the places of Yami Biko and Biko's soul. So Biko is in his body again, and Yami Biko is in the cards. And because of that, we were able to send him to the graveyard. And when he was about to be reaped by the Reaper of Cards. And then, Joey, Tristan, and Taya think all this, was a dream. But, Biko explains how he got the Luminarium Wing, from his dad, with a card with 666 attack and defense points. If that's not what sign, I don't know what is. From a guy, quote, from hell and Egypt. This episode ends with my screaming. I like this episode. I do think it's a very fun duel. It's fun to see, like, these characters cosplaying as duel monsters. Especially Joey and Yugi as the Flame Swordsman, Dark Magician, respectively. And I love that this is just basically a love letter to Season Zero's RPG arc. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So, dub changes. Yami Biko referenced himself being a thief. The line Joey says is, "Now I know I'm nuts. I'm 6 inches tall, wearing a dress, about to find my giant friend." It happens, it happens. Yugi seems to be less aware of Yami Yugi in the dub. Like, he goes like, something ancient. It's like, takes over from time to time, knock knock, wink wink. Magic! And then the dub, of course, added the 666 attack and defense to 1,000, because, can't have those demonic references in a children's card game show. And then they're also, like, because, like, it mentions, like, something along the lines, I'm not gonna give warning correctly on this, but, like, the motion that gave my dad the wing says it's something connected to Doom Monsters, but that doesn't make sense since Doom Monsters came out recently. and Valine is ancient. We want him with at home that, do monsters are from Egypt, huh, Dub? Way before the sub, even Willie talks about you want to be head of that cove. It just becomes weird because like they hint at it, but like Pegs has already clearly stated that that's why he got his inspiration from. Doom Monsters from was ancient fucking Egypt, my dude. It's not like you haven't said it. You already have said it. It's already out in the open, But whatever. So episode 14 starts up with the game finding out that Panic beat Maya Doom. And Panic is spelled capital P A N I capital K, because his name in Japanese is just player killer. That's why he has a big P and K on his shirt. Gotta represent your name. And that's why they capitalize the K in Panic. And Panic isn't spelled with a K. They have no problems cleansing all Japanese text out of a dub, but they gotta keep that K on that jacket. Yugi shines Panic to due to an back my starships. Honestly, this is my least favorite duel of this arc. It's too long in my opinion for what it is, but we get to that when the duel is finished. There's nothing. Honestly, doing action-wise, I think there's nothing of note really here. Because basically, Yugioh was a bit off balance, when castles of Dark Illusions first summon his field try and shadows, but Yugioh is like taunting Panic the whole time. Panic was and was in control, so it's just like which is fine for a character to be controlled, but it just didn't feel like there was any real challenge for Yugi to overcome. Yugi was just like, saying very cool, it's a cool combo, not panicking. As soon as he draws Source of Living Light in his hand, it's like, I drew this. You have 5 turns left, buddy, before you lose. He doesn't play it until next episode, but we get to that. So this episode, it's vain, it's probably like the worst episode so far. But dub changes. So I was watching this on Yugioh.com. Well, actually, first I started watching the dub on Yu-Gi-Oh's YouTube page, but they don't have all of Doom Monsters on there, so it's like, okay. Well, let me move to Yugioh.com. It's ad-win, but I'm like, okay, it's directly for Yugioh, from Yugioh. But the whoever runs that site, everything besides the shop feels like it hasn't been updated since 1912. For episode 14, fun fact, when the show is airing on the Kids WB, they combined episodes 14 and 15. And had a music video with a song, of Panic. It's literally called Panic like the character. Which, fun fact, you can only physically get a copy of that song from a McDonald's Happy Meal. Anyways, and it cuts all the duel that you see in episode 14. It then picks up one fourth of the way through episode 15, finishes the Panic Duel. If that's what they had for episode 14 on the on Yugioh.com, and of course it had episode 15 in its tally, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I went to Netflix, and it's like, okay, if I actually have episode 14 in its tally, and it's just ridiculous for the official Yugioh.com doesn't have a full dub episode of episode 14 up, and instead have a shitty cub version of it. You know, it's just ridiculous. But anyways, moving on. Episode 15. It's basically waiting for the souls of relaying light to end. As for Doom. You get the iconic moment of, Gaia, the Dragon Champion, being launched out off of Catapulto's catapult to destroy the flotation ring. But again, in terms of doing action, I think this episode, this Yugi vs. Panic is the worst. Even if Yugi is in control the whole time, the action that's actually happening isn't interesting at all. Because there's no back and forth. Especially when swords go up, because, Panic can attack. But it's just, whatever, it's just boring to me. And then, as all sane people do, after you lose, Panic tries to kill Yami Yugi. But due to, magic, Yami Yugi survives and Mind crashes Panic. Mind gets her, starships back. Dub changes. I made my opinion clear on episodes 14 and 15. I don't like it. Not my cup of tea. Dub changes. Yugi's friends are more aware of Yugi's powers, because I think it was Joey that said, "Oh, Yugi's powers protected us, even though we weren't in any danger of being burnt to a crisp." So let's go to episode 16. It starts off with Sarakaba flying via helicopter, and just so happens to land with Genghis. Joey gets mad at Kaiba. He's like, I know, he goes you can't just show up and do Pegasus, you gotta get the 10 starships. Kaiba wants to use his new yo-yo dudix. Joey's being bullied by Battle Ox, and then Rabbit Horseman after Kaiba fuses Battle Ox and Mystic Horseman. I don't like it. Because I know Joey is a novice, but Joey knows how to summon monsters in defense mode. And he doesn't do it, he's just losing life points. And it just feels we want to set up something for next episode. You can still have Joey get his ass whooped without him seeming like a total idiot. You know what I'm saying? If you get what I'm saying. Joey summons Whereas Black Dragon, destroying Rapid Horseman. And then, Kaiba summons Blue Eyes White Dragon and wins. Remember a few episodes ago when Yugi says, Whereas Black Dragon rivals for power of, Blue Eyes White Dragon? Ha! Anyways, Kaiba tells the story about how Pegasus beat Ben Keith by writing, instructions down on a piece of paper, and he called a kid from the stands. Here you go. This is how you beat Ben Keith, and kid won. And then, the episode ends with understanding that everyone has something to fight for. Or more or less, the feeling of, someone has someone to fight for. Again, the doing action of this episode's lame. I think they could have done a better job with like, you know, how to handle Joey getting his ass whooped. Because don't get me wrong, Joey's ass should 100% been whooped, but like I think they could have handled it a lot better. And there's like no spells or traps besides Polly. You know, and if they might try like, we gotta get through this, type shit. Other than that, I do like this episode. I like the reintroduction of Kaiba into the story. And I don't like how, like, as the audience, you understand Kaiba a bit more, and, you know, which is always good, you know, with, especially his relationship with Mokuba. Dub changes. Because things getting pushed to the ground, deserves to, for someone to get their paws checked. Check his paws, you! Kaiba calls, Joey both a doing monkey and a dog. Kaiba might be a dominatrix with such lines as stay down like the sniffling, defeated dog I turned you into. Anyways, can you imagine Sakai was a dominatrix though? You know, with like the lever and the whip. That's the true Kaiba, man. Oh my god. Could you? Oh my! Now I'm just really picturing it, like Kaiba with like a blue eyes white dragon head and like blue eyes dragon like level with like blue eyes dragon, and like the whip is like the blue eyes dragon's tail. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Anyways, yeah. Episode 17 starts off with Joey. Dreaming back Kaiba chasing him on a blue eyes white dragon. Then we get dog food Joey in the dream. Everyone wakes up. We get a note from Mai saying, "Peace. I'm doing my own thing." Bones and others are watching the gang, and the leader is Bandit Keith, which I do like how. They're like, oh, you know, this character called Bandit Keith, and then Bandit Keith is introduced for the next episode. And then, Joey has to pee. And he goes pee in a waterfall, and a man, clearly watching Joey pee, one of the goons, Bandit Keith's goons, Oliver Bones, beats Joey up, kidnaps him, I mean, what else are you gonna do after you watch a man pee kidnap him? That's fucked up. Like the gang realize, oh, Joey's missing, let's look for him. There's a funny scene of Joey fainting because he thinks Bones looks too creepy, but Joey accepts Bones' challenge. And freaking Bandit Keith is telling Bones what to play. I know Duelist Kingdom has funky rules here and there, with the crit spells still being up when it shouldn't be. Can't attack flying monsters for two duels only, etc. We could go on day about it. But like, you have fucking Bandit Keith literally coaching Bones on what the fuck to do. But whatever. Call of the Haunted is a continuous spell card, with a completely different effect than, you know, how if, the very famous card functions in the actual card game. So how Call of the Haunted works is, it can bring back non-zombie monsters from the player's graveyard and make them zombie monsters, and each time they get destroyed, they get a 10% increase. An attack And the gang finds Joey's wallet and figures he's in the cave. And the episodes ends up with Joey like in a corner with these zombie monsters. That's a mouthful. I do think this was a good episode. I do think the aesthetic of like the do film in this I really like. The graveyard. And I think the dueling action is probably the best it's been in 3 episodes. I know that's not saying much because we only had 2 duels of back-to-back when the dueling action wasn't good, but it's good to be back on track again. Truly. Dub changes. Dream Kaiba wants to be Joey's master. So, going back to the whole Kaiba wants to be a dominatrix thing. I think Joey wants to be dominated by Kaiba in the dub. I'm just saying. Joey, instead of having to go pee in the dub, Joey thinks someone is watching them. So he goes like, someone's stalking us. And then he runs away. And then when Yugi asks, where are you going? He's like, I'm gonna stalk them. Okay. So, then he goes to the waterfall where he, peed. He goes like, and I guess it was the waterfall. And then it's never brought up again, even though they were being watched. It's weird. I don't know. Episode 18. Like I mentioned, starts off with the zombie monsters get a 10% increase each time they destroy. Because sets off a trap in the cave and summons a walk. And it's like Indiana Jones' walk is slowing down, the gang is winning, Bakura gets run over. And Tristan's like, you know what? We're up against a chrono. My voice gives me super strength. Punches the boulder and turns out to be a balloon with a speaker. So Bakura lives! I love how Pegasus doesn't spend any money on food for the contestants. But he has plenty of money and time to set up traps in this cave. He cares. He truly does. I like that Time Whisper's time where that failed. Showing that, Joey's luck can't always, luck out. Sometimes he can fail. I really like that. Pumpkin, the king of ghosts, caused all zombies to get a 10% attack gain every turn. The gang found Joey. Bones played Stop Defense, which is now a spell card. Whereas destroys Pumpkin, who can't come back since it's already a zombie monster. And Sword and Shield wins Joey the game when zombies have 0 attack points. Apparently, if it can't come back, I guess they don't have the energy to come back, overpower. Bankeef and his goons trap the gang in the cave. Afterwards, Bankeef beats up his goons to get the 10 star ships he needs to enter Pegasus Chasm. I really like this episode. It's very entertaining. I think the humor of Pegasus sending out traps, like a balloon with a speaker to make it seem like a bow, is funny. But again, the doing action is very solid. Dub changes. I'm 99.9% sure this is the first time in the dub when they actually mentioned the field power bonus is 30%. They mentioned the field power bonus, obviously, but this is the first time I think they ever gave it a number. Just 18 episodes in to this arc. And 16 episodes into the tournament itself. The dub doesn't like to explain things when it comes to the call game. Go light daggers. That's kind of it. It sounded like I was gonna say something more, but nah, that's it. So episode 19 starts off with Bakura using his Miam wing to contract Iam's fun powers to try get out of a cave by tracking good old Pegasus Miam Eye. And we cut to Mokuba in a jail cell. Think about how grave a big brother Cabra has been in Vid's childhood. Back at the orphanage with a little younger. The gang found Paradox Bros dual wing. A lot of flips and kicks. As they introduce themselves. Joey and Yugi must win a tag team doom. And then, they had to pick the correct dough in order to, leave. Labyrinth was summon acts like, well, a labyrinth. And we started seeing not Pegasus, Kaba hang towards Pegasus Castle. If one of the members on the team loses all the life points, the whole team loses. Attack position monsters can move spaces on the dual field equal to the level. I really like this because one level is actually mattered for at least one Duelist Kingdom. It's something different, you know. It mixes it up a bit, makes it fun. We get a hint to solve, you know, pick which dough it is. And it's that one of the Paradox Brothers is lying and the other one's telling the truth. Joey thinks he solved the will because there's a will about a kid talking to like this dude who's staying in a folk in the world, and this kid wants to go to the village of truth tellers, but the other way is to the village of liars. So to solve this, he goes like, take me to you village, and if it's a truth teller, you know, takes it to the truth teller village. If it's a liar, take them to the truth teller village, because, you know, the liar village is not, you know. So, and so Joey asks us like, hey, which dough do you got? And you would know is one who said, the Paradox Bros who said, oh, I'm telling the truth, points to the dough he's not calling. So, Yami Yuki thinks both are lying, honestly. He just kind of states that out loud. I think both of you are lying. Shadow Ghoul is fused with Labyrinth Wall to basically cheat, because it just rides on the wall. Don't need to use his level to move. The Shin pops up, the famous Joey Shin. Kunai changes used to be Shadow Ghoul. Well, I mean, I guess it's Wall Shadow now. My bad, it's Wall Shadow. Since it's fused. I do like in this episode that, like, they didn't feel the need to go, oh, Yugi and Joey need to go through the whole learning to work together. They work together pretty well. Makes sense, you know, the BFFs, man. BFFs. The Paradox Bros are pretty cool. The Paradox Brothers, rhyme and the dub and finish yourself, Charles sentences. With as far as notable dub change. Sad. So moving on to episode 20. Starts off with a henchman fighting Kaiba. Apparently, trading cards beats guns, so kids always carry a spare trading card around. Dog Magician and Flame Swordsman have been summoned, iconic monsters. The Paradox Bros change for Labyrinth Flaws, so Joey's monsters are not separate from Yuki's monsters. And Yukimo, which is the trap card, for double change it into the monster, and actually change it to the all of the monster. But I would complain more about it, but both the dub and the sub have been using Timeless as a spell and trap card, even though it shows up as a monster card. So anyways, it destroys the Axe Whale, and Kuma is now summoned on the field. Mystic Box is used to destroy Kuma and move Dark Magician to where the spy used to be, so right next to Joey's Freeing Swordsman. Sanga of the Thunder was summoned, and it's like a box. And then Shujin is also on the field now as a box. Dungeon Worm is another monster that says screw the rules. I dig under the labyrinth, so I don't need to follow your spaces. I do like how they show like Joey and Yuki's different strategies here, because Yuki activated magical hats to protect Francis and Dark Magician from Dungeon Swarm's attack. And then then Monster Tamer is summoned and lets the other Paradox Bro to use Dungeon Worm as his own monster. And Dungeon Worm failed again to destroy a monster. And Joe's like, screw this, I'm gonna combine Flame Swordsman with Salamaya and just attack the ground where Dungeon Worm is. They flare blitz the ground to get rid of the toxic spice moment though. Katsugen is played. So Sanga, Sujin, and Katsugen combined to form Gengayan. And yes, Sanga of the Thunder is the only one to have like a full title for such as Sujin and Katsugen. I don't know why they didn't bother giving Sujin like Sujin of the Tidal Wave, or Katsugen of the Whirlwinds or something. I don't know. Kind of felt like we just give up. But Gengayan, it's the Mecha Emperors before it was cool. Just saying. They talk about Kaiba's dead parents and death. When Kaiba actually kind of mentioned it on his own as he was kind of walking to Mokuba's cell. But for Fug that Kaiba made to show him the way to Mokuba's cell, it's like, oh well, I'm gonna just sell for long. So good luck to you, sir. I do think this is a good episode. It's fun for doing action. It's fun, like I said. It's good to see the different strategies between Joey and Yuki, the mindsets and how they do. I think that's very and don't treat it like a bad thing, because usually when people are working together first time, it's like they're different, but like they make it seem being different is bad and not synergizing. But this I like how this dude shows strength in that, and strength of different person, different ideas, different way of play the game. I like that a lot. Dub changes. Equip cards are called accessory cards. That's not a good value go for equip cards are not called accessory cards. The Paradox Bros do more flips. Like that one flip scene from the last episode. Just play it again here randomly. I don't know why. But that's what they do. The Mokuba's backstory includes how everyone wants to adopt Kaiba, but not him. And Kaiba didn't want to get adopted unless Mokuba comes with. So episode 21 starts off with Yami Yugi using Mirrorforce to protect foreign swordsmen, but Gay Guardian protects itself, but most team was destroyed. Kaiba is now in Batman mode. The Gate Guardians uses his different parts to protect the other parts. Summoned to use electricity on the wall the Sujin produced during his last attack. So, conducts and destroys Sujin. Now, Red Eyes is fused with Summon Scar to make Black Scar Dragon. A very cool looking monster. The last one is the no fire zone, so Black Scar Dragon can't move. It happens. Yugi uses chips to have Dark Magician Trish process with Black Scar Dragon to win the game. There's a lot of shenanigans kind of before that happens, but it's like, it does kind of feel like it drags a bit, doing, like, a bit, like, not really drag, because this dude doesn't drag. A bit of a stally phrase when, like, Yami Yugi uses Monster Reborn to bring back Fusion so he can protect Dark Magician before he can switch, a bit of, like, suspense building, more or less. Yugi and Joina both have 10 starships. Yami Yugi tricked the Paradox Bros and Sister Y answer to the whole, which door is correct? By using, like, a two-sided coin. He, like, marked the coin, which, both doors on both, like, sides, so technically he's correct. So, of which door to choose, so, they get to leave. Pegasus means Kaiba boy, and Mokuba's, cell. Pegasus says he has to beat, Kaiba has to beat Yugi before he can do Pegasus for his brother, so, because Pegasus stole one of Kaiba's face. I like this episode. Great setup. Ends with great setup for next episode. Again, for Paradox Bros duel is very fun. So yeah. Dub changes. The dub makes it, makes it out, to seem like the Paradox Bros can change the layout of the cave at will. Like, it's an actual labyrinth. I mean, it is a labyrinth, but not like, can change stuff. And they add the flip again to this episode that they did to last episode, and then those just normally in episode 19. Okay, so episode 22 starts off with Pegasus giving Kaiba 5 starships to wage against Yugi. Tea's catching on that there are 2 Yugis. He remembers that Yami Yugi was Yami Bikodu by Still Things of a Dream. And then we give a flashback of Burger World, which is episode 2 of season 0. And then she talks about how she wants to be a dancer in New York City. Um, Yuki saves Taya from a creepy filming dude. And he knows what he would have done. And then we're back in the present. When Yuki feels like there's two of me, and Taya's like, no matter what, you still Yug. Kaiba is waiting for Yugi on top of Pex's castle and challenges him to a duel. Yugi accepts Kaiba's challenge using the new Duelist system. Kaiba thinks that the Duelist system would help him beat Pegasus, but he doesn't realize that Pegasus has an all-seeing eye, quite literally. We get the Soul Stalker's first appearance, who gets 20% attack when a monster was destroyed the turn before. Anyway, the episode ends with like Legend, the mystic genie of the lamp, comboing with Ancient Lamp, which protects it and deflects the Dark Magician's attack to Curse of Dragon. I think this doom is very fun, like this little first part. Good back and forth between Kaiba and Yugi. And I like the little backstory of Burger Wolf, flashing out Taya, Bedmo, and her starting to think there's something suspicious with good old Yugi. The changes. Taya doesn't think that Yugi versus Yami Piccolo was a dream. The Burger Wolf flashback has been wiped of anything creepy, like anything that can be so creepy, stalkery. It's kind of just wiped off of the face of the planet. Like the filming dude doesn't have his camera; it's not just a muggle. So yeah. Episode 23 starts out with Kaiba despawning Souls of Brilliant Light, which I'm like 90% sure Yugi have that in his hand. Yugi uses the Eye of Truth to see Kaiba's hand and get to see that sweet blue eyes red dragon. And Yugi figures out that Kaiba wants to fuse the three blue eyes together. Yugi uses mystical boss to destroy Legend. And I think it's funny, like, the Dark Magician literally ticks Kaiba. Like, haha, shame on you. Feels Knight wants to destroy Saki the Dark Clown, but Kaiba uses Car Crush Virus and causes Yugi unable to use monsters with 1500 attack or more. So, really in a pinch. Kaiba says he would pass his turn to Yugi plays a card. It's your move, you. Kaiba gets Blue Eyes number 2. Yugi uses Home of Unicorn to get Round Crush Card Virus. Kaiba gets the 4 Blue Eyes and then fuses them all together to make the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Oh, such a cool design. The episode ends with Yugi needing a prep talk about, defeating the Ultimate Dragon. I like this episode. I think ending on Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is probably like such a good cliffhanger, because 3,000 attack was a bit daunting. Now we have 4,500 attack. So it's like, whew. But like, I like the implementation of Card Virus. They to push Yugi in a good corner. So yeah. Dub changes. I don't know why the dub made for Card Virus a spell card. And it irritates me because Card Virus is an actual trap card in the card game. So I don't know why the fuck they changed that. But they did. Episode 24 starts with when Yami and Yugi summons Kaiba, and apparently no one plays it because Kaiba is trash. Like, Kaiba went on like a minute talking about how trash Kaiba is. Yeah, and Kaiba immediately eats his words when Yami Yugi uses Multiply to make those hairy balls all over the place. And you had to destroy all the Kaibos for Yami Yugi to actually take damage. Kaiba is just a fucking bomb in the anime. Like, if you touch it, boom boom! Yami Yugi uses Spell Shining Arrow combined with Polarization and Mammoth Graveyard to be able to fuse Mammoth Graveyard with Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. And since Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is a light, non-zombie monster, Mammoth Graveyard is causing Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon to walk from the inside out, which makes it lose 1,200 not life points, attack points each and every turn. Yeah, I like how if you do this little vision of like Kaiba seeing Mokuba in the goop that is Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then like Mokuba being swallowed by the goop. Not Grand Paltrow's goop. We're not talking about that goop. I feel like each time I say goop, I have to mention him. But anyways, that's not the point. Then you see like Kid Kaiba be like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're supposed to save Mokuba. And that's when Kaiba gets on the castle wall and be like, look, if you attack me, the shockwaves could send me over the ledge, killing me. After Captain Galleon cuts off one of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon's head, which he needs to destroy free. So if Captain Galleon attacks again, Kaiba releases. So that's Kaiba's like determined. It's like, I die. So Kaiba uses Monster Reborn to bring back the destroyed Blue Eyes head, but he can't attack that turn. Yami Yugi chooses to attack, but Yugi calls off an attack, causing Yugi to lose, and Yugi being scared of Yami Yugi. And I disagree with Taya about the whole Kaiba lost because he said he would kill himself. Like, she's like, real courage is about living, blah 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 blah. But I feel like that speech doesn't apply to Kaiba's situation with him. I mean, she has a point. I'm not gonna say she doesn't have a point or whatnot, but like, to Kaiba, Mokuba is his life. You know, like, he loves Mokuba so much that, you know, he would do anything to make sure he's safe. So, you know, desperate times comes from desperate measures type stuff. So I just feel like I know like the way don't know what's going on with Mokuba, the gang. So that play speech makes sense, but still. But I do like this episode overall. I think this episode's very good. Good to see a bit of conflict between Yugi and Yami Yugi. And the doing action was pretty good. Dub changes. Kaiba's way more open about Mokuba's current situation. Kaiba would just be hurt and the dub not killed because God forbid death. Let's protect our children from death. Yami Yugi and Yugi actually debate each other in the dub to whether attack or not attack. Sometimes dub, I know this is my first time mentioning this, but the dub does not like quiet moments at all. And I disagree with Terry even more in the fucking dub because Terry just friendship speeches Kaiba. It's like, well, what do you think he's doing this from? he's doing it for Mokuba. He's open about it. He's just like, oh, because you're a coward. You don't have friends like Yugi does. It's like he's doing this for his little brother. What the fuck are you talking about? You know. And she's like, yo, let's be honest. Like again, he's doing it for his little brother. Like, come on, Tag, come on. Episode 25 starts off with Yugi being broken after to do with Kaiba. Yugi feels bad for interfering with Yami Yugi's doom and feels like he can't do anything without Yami Yugi. Taylor feels bad for stopping Yami Yugi. Joey offers Yugi his starships, but Yugi is like, nah. Well, he doesn't even say anything. And then here comes Mai. Mai can't believe that Yugi lost. He offers Yugi extra starships that she has on him, but Yugi doesn't take it. So Mai's like, fine, you want to do for them? I challenge you to do, Yugi. Taylor's like, I take the challenge. And 12 duel, Taylor kept saying, you know, oh, it's my fault that Yugi lost, blah 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 blah, and Mai was like, shut up! Stop being so self-centered. Yugi made his own decision, you know, and you need to make Yugi needs to make his own decisions and stuff like that. And take Gaho, Skanko, Fanny kicked all over the place during this duel. And then my surrenders, when Shining Friendship, of course, I call it being Taylor's deck, destroys Harpyway. I'm okay with the surrender. I'm usually not okay with duels that end like this. But it's to teach Yugi a lesson about moving forward, making your own decisions, and with friendship. Yay. And Yugi does take notice, like, Mayuko won. You had Harpy's feather dust there, and she's like, forget about it. I do like this episode, okay. I do think the dueling action could be a bit better. But, you know, it's understandable since, you know, Taylor's a novice and all that stuff. And the lesson is good, so, you know, it's not the worst of episodes, but it's not the best of episodes. Dub changes. Yugi treats Yami Yugi like a freaking alien, invading his mind, laying eggs, bringing them to hatch. And then, the lesson of a dub is even though you're scared, you have to keep on fighting. Well, a bit different, but kind of the same thing. Because, you know, both is that kind of like, you know, stuff happened, you know, and you gotta move forward. Episode 26 starts off with us learning that this is a 4-person limit to the finals. We did not know that beforehand. So yeah, it's good that my Joey and Yugi got there, huh? I uses her charm to get Taylor, Tristan, and Bakura into the castle because, you know, they don't have starships. Before finals, are Joey, Yugi, Mai, and Ben Keith. I like how the sub, they mentioned, we're overlooking these three. They're not supposed to be here, but we acknowledge your existence. Opposed to the dub just like knows the fact that Tristan, Taylor, and Bakura snuck in. Kaiba versus Pegasus is a song. Pegasus, tries to get, Pegasus to use, the new Dudix. But Pegasus, on one condition, is that Vasil's Mokba is to hold for Dudix. Of course, Kaiba says, you know what, never mind, I'm not doing this. And Yuki understands why Kaiba went so far now. Doing, it's in the castle, it comes down from the sky, and, it sets up, and it's very fancy, very fancy. Yuki, tells, Kaiba about, Dragon Capture Jaw, but Kaiba loves his Blue Eyes White Dragon so much, and falls on deaf ears. Pegasus sets Toon Alligator, which is not a Toon monster in the actual card game. I know why. I don't know. Stupid. And Pele Dragon, who looks like a Toon, but it's not a Toon. Pegasus plays Prophecy, which, if he guesses a card in Kaiba's hand, well, it has 2,000 more attack or 2,000 less attack. If he gets it correctly, Pegasus gets to add that card to his hand. Of course, it's for Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Pegasus gets it correctly. So, Pegasus has one of Kaiba's Blue Eyes in his hand. The episode ends with Pegasus stopping Kaiba from crushing virus him, but doubling Soggy the Dog Clown's attack points. This episode is very fun, and now this is how you do the whole in control of a duel situation properly. Because, like, in the Panic duel, Panic, after, like, Yugi was turned the tables and was in control of the whole thing, Panic did nothing. Absolutely nothing. He was just sitting on his ass. And with this duel, you have Kaiba actually trying to win this duel. With all of his might. They big, difference in how you go about it. So I like this duel. This duel is very fun. And the dub changes. So, Joey and Tristan are waiting for Kaiba to lose at first, which makes them kind of dicks because they know a lot more about Mokuba and the dub than sub. So, I'm just saying. Yuki, just tells Kaiba, behold the cards! Instead of, very useful information about Dragon Capture Jaw. I'm just saying, one is way more useful than both of them. Episode 27 starts off with no one, besides Piccolo, believing that Pegasus can read minds. I love how Pegasus, loves cartoons. I think that's awesome. And we get to be welcome to the world of Toons, aka Toon World. Dark Rapids and Toon World, along with any other monsters he plays, and you can attack monsters that hide inside of Toon World. Like, it's like a book, it opens and closes. Blue Eyes Toon Dragon is here. Kaiba loves it. Kaiba discards his whole hand to the graveyard and plays whatever's on top of his deck, and it just happens to be a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Toons can be destroyed by battle, and Pegasus is the only one that has Toon World in the world. It's good to be quail, huh? Kaiba uses Shadow spell to stop Toon Dragon from attacking and allowing Blue Eyes White Dragon to destroy it. Because how Toons are being unable to be destroyed by battle and move, but with Shadow's spell, it's a bit tied down, so they can't move. So Blue Eyes is able to destroy Blue Eyes Toon Dragon. And hi, Dragon Capture Jaw. It's not like we knew you were coming. Pegasus summons Dragon Pipe, which try to summon Blue Eyes. But like he but Kaiba was about to attack Dragon Piper, but Pegasus uses Mimicat to copy Clutch Card Violets from Kaiba's graveyard and uses Dragon Piper as tribute. Wreck Kaiba's deck. He decks out because of it. Winning Pegasus a game. This episode ends with Yami and Yugi declaring that he would beat Pegasus. I like this episode a lot. I think this is a very excellent way to show how strong Pegasus is and how strong his eye is. They get dub changes. The gang is more open about magical powers and the dub. Like I was mentioned something about like Pegasus and his love of cartoons being a harebrained after school cartoon, but it's like Kaiba, you are in a harebrained after school cartoon yourself. I mean, I'm just saying. So episode 28 starts off with us finding out there is actually food on this island. After all, you need Glory of the King's Hand to give a prize money and Glory of the King's opposite hand to do Pegasus. Joey and Ben Keith don't have either, and those cards act as like entry cards for finals. Yuki is facing Mai and Joey's facing Ben Keith in the first rounds. Yuki gives Joey Glory of the King's Hand. And Bako and Tristan goes to Taylor's room because they think Pex is cheering. Yuki's just hearing Grandpa's votes. Taylor knows a small window above the dueling, but it will allow someone to see someone's hands. And there's a tile that lines up with said window. And Yuki sees with three soul cards of Mokuba, Grandpa, and Kaiba on crosses. Grandpa says that Pex's heart is imprisoned by the shadows. Tristan finds grappling hook to climb for Talon. Taylor doesn't want to climb first because of her skirt, but does it anyways just in case if she falls. But if just in case she falls, one of both can catch her. But both of the guys are blindfolded because she doesn't want them to look up her skirt, which defeats the purpose of them trying to catch you. Just saying. And the three made to this tile and wondering who the lady is that Pegasus has a pang of. And then Pegasus catches them and teleports them to a tomb when we see a dude with stone tablets. And then Yami Biko shows up and saves the day. That's a sentence most people never thought they would say. But here we are. Tristan and Taylor think all of that was a dream. Yami Biko is happy that he found the royal eye. Ben keeps Joey's entry card. And the episode ends with Yuki thinking that his dream was a message from Grandpa. I really like this episode. It's more setup and foreshadowing of what's to come. So dub changes. Joey is dreaming of giant donuts instead of his system. You know, who cares about his sister when he's in our operation? It's gigantic donuts. That's what's real point. Grandpa says that Pegasus would destroy the world for dub. Grandpa, I think you're getting your information mixed up there, buddy. That's all I'm saying. Every silver Pegasus traps makes him stronger. Grandpa talks about how Pegasus wants his puzzle. Grandpa says that Yuki needs to unlock the power of the puzzle, and the color for skull and blind for a bit, for obvious reasons. And Pegasus states that he wants the power over death. So episode 29 starts off with a finals beginning, with Pegasus in person watching the finales, of course, and then you have beats Yugioh Maximilian Pegasus, becomes Yugioh King of Games. So Mai versus Yugi begins. Mai, says that, I've learned about the powers of friendship. And, she notices that Yugi is mostly focused on Pegasus, while in Ho. God feels now learns the effect of Meal Wall. They close up and post no. And then Yami Yugi learns that Meal Wall is a continuous trap card. When he tried to attack with Summon Skull, instead of maybe looking at your little dual screen there, Yami Yugi. But hey, it happens. We actually see Hoppy's Feather does so. Used twice in this duel actually. And then we see Mai for watches Hoppy's Power Dragon. And then Mai for's the will was seen but remains unseen back at Yami Yugi. Like that's the same will he said to Joey. Back in episode 5, Joey doing the Joey vs. Mai duel. Then Mai plays Shadow of Eyes to force Yugi monsters to attack. So he can't defend. By using pheromones, I believe, to make monsters attack. So I want to paint this picture with this. The episode ends with Yami Yugi have 300 life points, and Mai hasn't lost a single life point. This episode of Bubble is good. I do think it's good, but there's a reason why I say Bubble. We get to that when we cover the next episode. Well, soonish. But overall, a very good episode. Dub changes. Yugi is scared of Yami Yugi, and he thinks he will hold Mai because of his deal with Kaiba, which I think is a bit ridiculous considering Kaiba could waive the circumstances on his own and all that stuff. It's not like Yami Yugi's out there stabbing people, robbing them, kicking puppies and whatnot, But hey, episode 30 starts with Mai saying that Yami Yugi is scared. Yami Yugi realized that he is scared of losing, and that he heard Yugi, and that snapped him out of his slow funk. And this when this duel goes downhill from here, because I hate to break it to you, but you're a terrible fucking duelist. Because basically, okay, so Yami Yugi uses brain control on Pet Dragon, and then summons Capoto, and he fires Pet Dragon at Meal Wall to destroy Meal Wall, and since Pet Dragon was my monsters, Mai took damage. And then Joey have a shit. And then Mai, to quote the subs I was watching, Mai summons her Hellish Harem, aka the Harvey Lay sisters. And Yami Yugi had a face down card, and she didn't want to attack, even though I believe during Joey's duels day that when you multiply the sisters you can't attack, but again the rules aren't consistent in this arc. But Yami Yugi's face down was a bluff, and it was monster recovery. So Capoto goes back. Then he puts Mystical Elf in defense mode, and Shadow Eyes doesn't work on female monsters because, hormones and all that. Not hormones, pheromones. That's an effect. That's a big difference there. Doesn't affect female monsters. I'm gonna use this Monster Reborn on Pet Dragon to bring it back. And then Yami Yugi uses Source of Green Light, summons Kuripo. You can use Monster Reborn to bring back Gaia of the Fierce Night. And then he uses Black Luster Ritual to triple for Kuripo, and Gaia to summon Black Luster Sojo. And it destroys Pet Dragon. My surrenders after lost the Sojo, Black Luster Sojo destroys Pet Dragon. I really hate the ending of this Doom. I know, when and lose counts don't matter, Willie and Yugioh post in terms of how strong you win and kill them. But you trying to have me believe this character made it to the finals when she the only win so far we know of is against Rex and the B show dude. She lost to Joey. She lost to Panic after dueling. She surrendered to Terra, which I'm okay with because it's to teach Yugi lesson, and she surrenders here. And I hate it because I know it's she doesn't want her hobby ladies to get hurt, but as soon as Yugi got a decent momentum, it's no, I'm out, I don't want to fight anymore. And it's just kind of it's not fun to watch. Because, literally, as soon as Yugi got out of his funk, it was his game. But it's my problem with the Panic Duel. As soon as Yami Yugi drew Sorcery that Light and that duel, it's this is Yami Yugi's game. And, and Panic and My Way didn't play much, after, Yami Yugi started getting momentum, so it's just he just can pop off shit. So I really don't like this duel. It is definitely up there with my least favorite duels of the arc. So dub changes. Basically, the dub does the same way of facing Union Demons, but it's more with Yugi being afraid of Yami Yugi opposed to anything else. And again, the dub doesn't really explain how this game works or anything, really. Because, if they don't explain how Ritual Summon works properly. Because, the sub mentioned levels, and, the dub didn't. So episode 31 begins with Bandicoot versus good old Joey. Bandicoot is cocky because he stole Joey's entry card, and Joey has 5 minutes to look for his entry card. And he searched his room all over the place and couldn't find it. And then he's crying in front of the finale's dome. And then Mai comes up, it's here, friendship, take my entry card. And Joey's very thankful. Now the real duel starts between the two. Bandicoot has Joey on the defensive at the beginning with his machines, because machines all his machines are really actually very strong, and they resist magical attacks, so you can attack them with magic based attacks. Bandicoot drops Zoro oops. I didn't know how that happened. And then Joe tries to attack Zoro, and then it's oh, well, here's my trap card, Mammoth. And it's like, oh, Zoro's down Malzo. Then Bankeef activates the guild stop defense, so Joey can't defend. Because, well, why would you want to have Joey defend? But the episode ends with Joey, like, making a bit of a comeback, So, it's not all lost for Joey. It doesn't end on a depressing note. It actually ends on them being on equal footing, which is good to see. Honestly, this arc is very refreshing that it's now like, ending with like, the protagonist is losing or whatnot. I feel like, when the cut to, we've had to cut for like time. It feels like we've had to cut for time, and instead of like, protagonist is losing, cut here. Dub changes. Nothing of note besides my wage of him making guillotine, which is the magic base monster Joey used at the beginning of the duel. A fusion monster, because there's no monster on the sub. And then episode 32 starts with Pegasus winging each contestant's mind and seeing that Bankeef drowned himself in booze and drugs after he was lost to Pegasus. And he also started to duel underground. And on Joey's mind, this friendship and his system. Barrel Dragon hits the field. So Joey uses his baby dragon and Time Wizard combo to make 1,000 dragon and destroy Barrel Dragon. Bankeef used Time Machine to bring back Barrel Dragon. He also summons a Slot Machine. Joey brings out Gil, Whereas Black Dragon, and uses Copycat to copy Metamorph to make Whereas Metal Dragon, which I actually really love the design of. Bankeef uses Complete 7 to boost Slot Machine's defense by 700. You can choose to boost attack or defense with Complete 7. Bankeef used the Go swap card and the Wristband trick to give a second Complete 7. But Pegasus notices it. Bankeef summons Blast Field, which has like 1,500 more attack than does an actual card game to try to defeat Metal Dragon. But Joey plays Dragon Arrows to stop that from happening. Bankeef does the Go Whisper trick again to get its third and last copy of 7 complete. And then he activates a card called Pillager, which lets him steal as a card from Joey's hand. He shoots Shoot and Sword. And with that, he was able to beat Whereas Metal Dragon, but Joey uses Grave Robber to steal Time Machine to bring back Metal Dragon, winning him for duel. Pegasus causes a battle of hope and despair. But you want Pegasus, I'm just saying, this is a picture of hope and despair battle right here. Yeah, let this sink in, Pegasus. Let this sink in. Bankeef revealed that he stole Joey's entry card by trying to call him out. I was like, that's not his entry card. This dude's invalid. Then everyone's like, how the fuck do you know that? And then Pegasus reveals that Bankeef cheated. And then Bankeef is like, screw it, and points a gun to Pegasus' head, like, well, been posting up, but Pegasus is like, activates a trap dome. And Bankeef falls to the sea, which, speaking of hope and despair, that's like a thing that won by execution right there. I really like this stew. It's very fun. you know, you really do feel like Joey has come a long way in this duel, 100%, compared to, like, when he first dueled Mai back in episode 5. Um, so, both episodes, 31 and 32, very good. Dub changes! Of course, we got our talks of booze and drugs. The CG for Barrel Dragon censorship, I think, looks terrible. Pegasus seems to care a lot more about Bankeef stealing Joey's entry card, and then he does it with Sub, and Sub, he's like, who the fuck kills? And the Dub, he's like, ooh. He did. Good finger pointing. When Bankeef hits the wall, he says, ow, probably to make sure, you know, to make sure we know he's still alive. Basically, probably. Most likely. Episode 33 starts off with Joey and Yugi remembering what they're fighting for before they square off. Terra doesn't understand what two friends are fighting. But should be fine because they're friends. Joey thanks Yugi for helping him get this far. Well, honestly, this duo is just like the greatest heads of Yugi and Joey's decks. With such monsters, actually such cards as Summon Skull, Theon showed, Guy of Jack, and Championing being summoned. Joey summons Whereas Black Dragon and is able to fuse it by using Grave Robber to steal Summon Skull. And Copycat to copy Polymerization. Because at this point in time, Summon Skull is in Yugi's graveyard, and I guess Polymerization's on the field since Guy of the Dragon Champion is. Able to bring out Black Skull Dragon. The episode ends with Black Skull Dragon destroying Guy of the Dragon Champion. I really like this beginning part of the duo. It's very fun to just see these two go at it. It sure kind of, I guess ruins, how the original manga Joey and Yuki never dueled. But I mean, this is a fun duo thing. Just, all your favorite monsters from favorite cards from these two decks, just go at it. Dub changes, but no matter what music video. Episode 34 starts off with Dark Magician being summoned, a combo with Fugum Magical Hands. Joey tries to bait Yami Yugi with Garuzis, but Yami Yugi's like, try to bait me. Yami Yugi uses skill Spellbinding Sogo to affect Black Skull Dragon, and Dark Magician gets boosted with a book of secret arts, and Dark Magician is able to destroy Black Skull Dragon. Joey uses his Baby Dragon Time Wizard combo, but it backfires because Dark Magician turns into the Dark Sage, which makes him powerful, and winning Yami Yugi. Basically winning Yami Yugi the duel. I mean, he uses Monster Reborn to bring back Black Skull Dragon. If that truly wins him the duel, but Tomato, he basically won with Dark Sage, let's be honest. The episode ends with Yugi giving Joey the prize money. I like this episode for the same reason I like the first half of this duel. Just greatest hit after greatest hit. And dub changes. Funny line, but Joey says, because when Debang to attack Yugi at one point of the duel, he goes like, if he knows that I know, he knows that, I forget, I'm just gonna attack. I just love how Joey's just trying to play for 4D chess with himself, and he's like, fuck it, and then Pegasus hints at his level, and with Dub, which wasn't them the sub. Okay, episode 35. It's the beginning of Yugi versus Pegasus. If Yugi wins, Grandpa, Kaiba, and Mokuba gets the soul set free. Tristan goes off to find the bodies of Kaiba and Mokuba, just in case, Pegasus tries to do anything sneaky. If Yugi wins, he gets 60% of additional illusions, aka he would become freaking president. If he wants to. Yugi's soul would be trapped if he loses. Tristan overhears gods talking about Mokuba and finds a secret passageway. Pegasus summons where all three go. And is basically able to read every move Yugi's planning on doing due to, good old I. He knows that he's gonna summon Go Beaver Warrior, which Beaver Warriors throughout his arcs just sent out to die. Equipped with Horn of a Unicorn. Pegasus responded with the trap card Tears of a Mermaid. Tristan frees Mokuba's body from his cell, but the gods are aware of this little rescue attempt. Pegasus summons Willian, and the episode ends with guards closing in on Tristan. I like this episode. I think the beginning part is the duel between Yugi and Pegasus is very good. Because Yugi is trying his damage to try and outsmart Pegasus, but Pegasus has the all-seeing eye, and then the Tristan cell part is also entertaining. Dub changes. You get whatever you want instead of just being president of Industrial Illusions. Small change, but it's there. Episode 36 starts off with Yamabikura going off to find Tristan. Yugi tries to bait Pegasus with spellbinding Soko, but Pegasus uses trap displacement to move spellbinding Soko to from Mulan to summon Skull. Yamabikura finds Tristan and uses his magic powers to trap the guards using the spell called Shane Energy. Which, honestly, they could still, shoot them, but, well. Toon World has hit the field, making Archery Mermaid into Toon Mermaid, and we went into Maga Ruinland. Don't get me started on the name of TCG. Why I went with Maga instead of Toon, I don't know. But anyways, Pegasus plays Gogen's Eye, which makes defense monsters that are destroyed by battle. When defense monsters are destroyed by battle, Yugi takes half of their defense points as damage. So he really can't defend. Pegasus uses Mimikap to copy Summon Skull in his graveyard to summon Skull. The episode ends with Tristan almost falling to death because that went to a cliff in the castle. But Yamabikura saves him. But I like this episode. And again, the doing actions is fun, and the cell pop with Tristan because it's fun. I do like how Yugi's very much backed into a corner, and his trying his damage to get out. Then there's no noble dub changes for this episode. So, episode 37 starts off with a classic Dark Magician Magical Hands combo. Pegasus knows what Dark Magician is due to his Millennium Eye. Yugi switches with Yugi. He moves with Dark Magician to a different hat, causing Pegasus to miss. And Yugi explains the strategy. Well, first he explains Yugi to Joy and Teo, then he also explains the mind shuffle idea. You can't read our minds if we keep switching. So that's how we decide to counter Pegasus Millennium Eye by using his Millennium Puzzle. um, guards are about to unload on Tristan, and Yamiko unload via the guns. Then Tristan kind of remembers Yamiko versus Yugi as Yamiko summons man in a bug and moving jaw to send the guards to the graveyard where they have the souls weep above the weep of cards. Yami Yugi says that great dudes need instincts, but Pegasus doesn't believe that. Pegasus used magical neutralizing force field to destroy magical hats. So Yami Yugi used the spell Sharon Garrett to copy magical neutralizing force field to destroy Toon World. And with the help of Immune Force, Yami Yugi was able to destroy all of Pegasus monsters. Yami Biko wants to smoke about the episode ends with Pegasus making it a shadow game. I really like this episode. I really like how Yugi and Yami Yugi decide to use Family Lamb to combat Pegasus. And it's very fun to see Yugi take down Toon World. And then the Slog Paw with Tristan and Yamiko is also good. Dub changes, Yugi's friends are way more aware of Yami Yugi at this point in time than the sub. So it's just weird that keep having explaining Yami Yugi. Yami Biko wants Biko to be his new host because no so. Episode 38 starts out with Yami Biko mentioning that he is the spirit of Rumarium Wing. Yami Biko wants the key to Kabiko's opponent documents, but Mokuba had what he wants with it. I don't know. He never says. Tristan knocks out Yami Biko by throwing Mokuba at him as a distraction, but Cry chop his neck. Tristan throws Rumarium Wing away off into the woods. Tristan's now back at the dueling with Mokuba and Biko's bodies. The shadow game is hitting Yugi hard, and Yugi's friends can feel that he's in trouble. Pegasus summons Relinquish, who's like, look, eye thing. It looks like a penis. And it moves. It's very phallic. It's a very phallic monster. Relinquish absorbs Course of Dragon, and it can use the monster. It uses that sucks up as a shield. And then Relinquish also absorbs Dark Magician after Dark Magician destroys Course of Dragon. Yugi sets a card, and then that's the last card he plays before he passes out. And his friends can feel that something awful happened to him. And now Pegasus can read Yami Yugi's mind because there's no Yugi. The episode ends with Pegasus summoning Jugin Bakadon, who is quote-unquote a time bomb monster. And since when Relinquish has 0 attack points, on Yami Yugi would take damage when Dark Magician gets caught up in the explosion. I like this episode. I like how Pegasus is calm and coolness is slowly becoming undone, and but it's not giving full control of a duel to Yami Yugi. Yami Yugi still has to fight to win. And I like how the subpart with Tristan Mokuba ended before we get to the final leg of this duel. In the dub, Tristan's more open about his adventure that he had for the past few episodes. And Pegasus says that he made the Dog Eye Illusionist, which is a card he played during this duel, specifically for his duel with Yugi. Okay, episode 39 starts with Grandpa telling Yami Yugi to trust his friends. The power of motherfucking friendship. Yeah, he don't have to admit, for motherfucking friendship, Pegasus protects Yami Yugi's mind from being wet. So Yami Yugi uses Nico's box to put Jijin Bakadon in the language where Dark Magician is set free, Yamayuki uses brain control to take control of the language. Pixis thinks you're crazy, because Jinka Bakudan's about to go boom boom. But Yamayuki uses Yugi's last set card, Black Magic Ritual, that he sacrifices Dark Magician, and Jijin Bakudan to summon Magician of Black Chaos. I like how you just see Pegasus really just on the seat of his pants, really. Pegasus uses language with a fasten IO to make a fasten eyes restrict. When all the eyes open, fasten eyes restrict makes your opponent's monsters unable to move. And when fasten eye restricts, the eye thing looks more like a penis fitted with relinquish. It moves more. It's very phallic. So Yamayuki uses Go Multiply on Creeper to get a Fasten Eyes Restrict to suck up all of his hairy balls, and then they explode, damaging all the eyes on a Fasten Eyes Restrict, freeing Magician of Black Chaos, allowing him to throw a Fasten Eyes Restrict, winning Yamayuki for duel. And we see Yugi's okay, and the episode ends with Pegasus disappearing, and then the gang searching for Pegasus and leaving Mokba and Yami because Kale. I mean, well, it's Bakura, but then the episode reveals Yami Bakura is in control. I really love this duo. This duo is amazing. All the twists and tones. Such iconic moments like Creeper blowing up, and then the summon of Magician of Black Chaos. Dub changes. Pegasus calls himself Daddy when he summons Restrict. Fast Sounds Restrict Relinquish. So and then Pegasus hints more at his level and of a dub again when he loses. Okay, so last episode, episode 4 starts off with Terra knowing that Pegasus will be in his tower. Pegasus wonders if having two minds is the power of a puzzle. Pegasus sets free the three souls he has in prison. For the first time, Pegasus mentioned his lover Cecilia in the sub. Yamabiko shows up to steal the lamb eye after having an ancient Egypt laser beam battle. Who knew? And we see a picture, one of the pictures in Pegasus Castle's eyes flash. The gang sees the God's King and unconscious Pegasus away. Pegasus left a journal full of plot, just in case if he loses. The journal talks about how his wife Cecilia died from an illness. And during his adventures in ancient Egypt to try to see Cecilia again, Pegasus got from Lamb Eye from Shai. Pegasus learned of Capricorn's virtual simulation system. He wanted to take over Capricorn so he could use this to see his wife again. And then Shai shows up and is like, I'm here to investigate the theft of the Millennium Eye. And then he Millennium Key Yugi's mind and sees that, there's two minds in here. One is pure and no malice, and the other one, what's the other one? Yamayuki meets Shai in his mind room and challenge Shai to a child game, just like in episode 4 of season 0 when Shai has to find the correct dome. But Shai almost dies, but Yuki saves him and gives Yamayuki to call off child game. We give a Stone Tablet backstory healing the sub for the first time. And then Dark Magician was being a god, and Yugi gets him to step down. And Shai mentions that Dark Magician is responsible for King's protection. The episode ends with Shai knowing who Yami Yugi is. I like this episode. It serves as a good final flashback of Pegasus' character and sets up more to come in the future. Dub changes. Yami Bikari hints that he's an OSO. Pegasus needs to learn random items and the dub for his master plan. Yugi, Pegasus already explained the stone tablet thing to you in episode 2. And Shai gave Yugi the whole on you can save the world speed 7. The OTS is very good for both the sub and the dub. While the first opening verse by Cloud and the first ending Energizing Child by Aki Miranda don't do too much for me. Songs like The World to Victory, Going Towards Tomorrow, Carefree After School, and of course Yami Yuki's theme, Passionate Duelist, all bangers. And then the dub has hits like Wara's themes, Mai's theme, Kaiba's theme, and No Matter What, and of course the famous Yugioh theme. The animation is very solid. Like I can't really think of like any like really standout animation moments, but like this show looks good. You know, it doesn't look bad. Duelist Kingdom does a great job picking up like this, like basically in the middle of the story of Yu-Gi-Oh, and incorporating elements from what happened before Duelist Kingdom into it flawlessly. It's very impressive. And like, you know, the dueling rules are all over the place, but like it's still entertaining. They do mix it up, like for example, you know, the tag duel with the paradox blows. It's a great example of that. It's a very fun watch. I love seeing like these characters interact with each other, grow together. Pegasus is an excellent first antagonist of the series. Nothing like too like, you know, epic in scale, just a simple a bit of a personal thing, you know, stealing Grandpa's soul and getting Kaiba invested by like kidnapping Merc by trying to take over his company and all that stuff. I would give Duelist Kingdom a solid 8 out of 10. So thank you all for watching this massive video, and I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see y'all next time.